The following is a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.
Hey, hello again, everybody, and welcome to Missouri Milestones, the podcast here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Guy Newcomb alongside Kent Mueller, and we go out to New York. I know we've interviewed folks that graduated in 1963. Back as we go, that's far, that may be as far away as we've gone for an interview as part of Missouri Milestones, Kent, but we go to Hunter College, and we welcome in special guest Kennedy DeRuy, a 2022 graduate of McAuley Catholic High School, where she scored 1,379 career points and is currently playing at the college level at Hunter College. Kennedy, welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you guys so much for having me. I'm really excited. I love when Missouri comes out with their sports reporters and really sees what's up with their past athletes. So this is a good opportunity.
Kennedy, first off, let's go back and talk about the high school career at McAuley Catholic, which is located in Joplin, Missouri. Take us back to maybe your freshman year, and I know you were part of 79 victories there at McAuley Catholic, had some very successful teams. Take us back to that freshman year and some of those folks who kind of helped mold and mentor you at the maybe coaches, teachers, parents.
Right.
Take us back to that.
It really all started, honestly, in middle school. I knew about the McAuley Catholic program, and it was like my dream to be on this high school team. I was so fascinated by it, and I knew what they were doing there, and they were really successful, and I wanted to be a part of that team. So kind of in 8th grade, the high school coach, Coach Howard, so we're still close. He was a great coach, great mentor. He was really kind of coaching me early on about 7th, 8th grade. He was actually my PE teacher in middle school. So we would always have talks, what's going to be like when I get to high school, like what plays do you guys run, like all that stuff. And so I was just really, really excited to finally get to my freshman year. And we had a great run my freshman year. But then it kind of really took off my sophomore and junior year. We won the district championship sophomore and junior year. And then we also made it to sectionals my junior year. So that was a first sectional win. And I think the last time we won was in the 80s. It was a long time. So that was a really great milestone for my team. And I had a great supporting cast. Kaylee Teeter, she was my point guard. She's also in the 1,000 point score career milestone. She was a great asset to our team. She really knew how to handle the ball and facilitate. But yeah, high school basketball, I always look back at it. It was really a pivotal moment in my life where I had to learn leadership really, really early on, and just how to play with a team and how to lead a team. And it just really grew my confidence in the game. I had a great coach. Sometimes coaches can either give you confidence or they can not give you confidence. And really, Coach Howard built me into a player where I was able to have confidence on the court and also off the court. So, and always the student sections, we really are a small school, 80 kids total. My graduating class was 21. So, but with the student sections, they were so much fun. And we had our rivalry games, everything like that. Catholic schools, they're big for basketball. So, it was a great time to play for them, and I had a really, really supporting cast, and it was so much fun. So,
yeah, you mentioned some of those games that really stand out to you: the district championship, the sectional championship. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I was on the sideline at Southwest Baptist University. Did you play a quarterfinal game there or a sectional game at SBU?
Yes, I believe my sophomore year we did. Yes, we played a sectional game. We unfortunately lost, but just to get that district win and to go into that sectional game was a big deal for our team because we hadn't done that in a really long time.
Was that Walnut Grove?
Yes, it was. It was Walnut Grove. We had them in the first quarter. We were neck and neck. Everyone thought we were going to have a blowout in the first 5 minutes. But we stood with them. But obviously that was a great team. I can't recall of a couple of players that were really really stood out at Walnut Grove. I actually played against them in AAU, so we knew we were getting into their Walnut Grove. Obviously, has a history of being a really good basketball program. So, but it was fun playing there too. Everyone came out and supported their student section, our student section. So that was a really fun game. Very electric, energizing place to play in.
That would have been probably Lexi Harmon and Heather Harmon.
Yes. Yeah.
For Walnut Grove. And, tell us a little bit about the rivalries that you had at the high school level, some of the teams, maybe even individual players. I can remember guys that I played against in high school that really I looked forward to going against because they were good. They were going to challenge me. What were some of those teams and players that stand out for you?
Definitely College Heights. They were another private school in Joplin. They were a Christian school. And that was always our rival game. We usually have it on a Friday night. So, just the day before and the day of going to class, and we're all talking about it and making sure everyone came out to the game. And I think that's still a rivalry today. I mean, it's been since I've been there, since I've been going to elementary school there. It was always over playing College Heights tonight, and as well as Thomas Jefferson, TJ. They're also another private school in Joplin, and so we were all a couple miles away from each other. But College Heights and TJ, those were definitely our top two rivals. Yeah.
And going back to your freshman year, that first time you stepped on the court as a freshman at the varsity level, what were the nerves like, and maybe compare that to your freshman debut in college?
Right. I think I had been waiting for it for so long. I was expecting a lot more nerves, I guess. But I played it through my head so many times my freshman year of high school that when I finally got on, I felt like relief. Like, okay, you've worked, you've talked with your coach, Coach Howard, countless of times about this specific moment. Like, just go and do it. And I think with his belief in me, I was able to just play and not think and play fast and free. And then moving on to the college level, I kind of took those same nerves. And I think obviously a little bit more nerve wracking because everyone's a college basketball player at this league and everyone's good, So it was definitely a learning curve for me. But like I said, I'm so glad that I came here because of the teammates that became my best friends. My coach here, Coach Garrett. It's been an awesome decision that I made, and I'm so glad that I did it.
Again, Guy Newcomb alongside Kent Mueller here from Playing on Sports on Missouri Milestones, the podcast, and we're visiting with McAuley Catholic 2022 graduate Kennedy DeRuy. And Kent, I know you've got some questions as well.
Well, Kennedy, I'm from a small town. You're from a small town here in the Midwest. How did you find Hunter College in the big city?
Well, I've been visiting New York since I was a kid. My dad would give me one trip a year, and he said, wherever you want to go, we'll go. And I always picked New York. He was like, you sure you don't want to go to Boston? Or he was just trying to get me out of New York because he's not much of a big city guy either. So I was like, I want to go to New York. So, okay, so we keep going to New York. And by sixth grade, my last trip there, I was like, I'm going to go to college here. And he just laughed in my face. Like, you're not going to college in New York City. Stop it. And I just thought about it more and more. I was like, but what if I did? No one really from my high school was kind of going big, away like that. Everyone kind of stayed in the four states. There's great schools. I'm not knocking that whatsoever. But I knew I wanted to really leave and see what else was out there. So I just started looking at schools, obviously in Manhattan, and I came across Hunter College, and my coach and Coach Garrett and Coach Howard, they got in contact with each other, and emails were sent and Zooms were set up, and that's kind of how it all started to unfold.
What were some of the things about Hunter College specifically why did you send that first email to them? What got you to do that rather than other schools?
Right. I think the number one thing is the location. It was right in the middle of Manhattan. I saw they had a great media program, which I was really looking at. I knew if I was going to move to New York City, a big reason for that was for the opportunities to be in a career of media. And so I saw they had a great alumni from, the media department, and they had great resources and everything like that. And then also just kind kind of is exactly what I wanted to do with my career, kind of all like aligned. And then also with the basketball point of view, they were great in basketball. They had a great record. I watched them play a little bit, and I really liked the flow of the game, how they played the game. And so it really stood out to me though when I made my first in-person visit. So Coach Garrett showed me around like the school and the gym, and I just fell in love with it. And just being in the city and being able to talk to even professors here in the media department, that kind of really gave me the go ahead. Okay, I'm gonna do this.
What was the biggest adjustment your freshman year? Because most people have, okay, adjusting to college, being away from home, but you also played basketball and you also were a half continent away.
Right.
What was that adjustment like?
I had to grow up like that. I had to be extremely independent like that. I always carried those qualities, I think, being independent since I was a kid. But that really got put to the test when my mom wasn't there when I was sick, and I had laundry to do, you know, like little stuff. You're like, oh, I gotta grow up. I'm not seeing my family for another 4 months. I mean, I go without seeing them sometimes 6 months. So, I just learned how to grow up. But I think, you know, it's like they always say, like your first semester, you really want to go back home. You don't want to do this anymore. And I told my parents, I was like, I just want to come back home. And they're like, okay, stick it out for a year. If you don't like it, you can come back. Because I wanted to go to the University of Arkansas. If I wasn't going to play basketball, I was going to go to Arkansas. And so they said, okay, you can do that, but just stick it out for a year. So I stuck it out for a year, and I was like, oh, I'm coming back. Like, I made my friends my second semester. You know, I found my groove. I knew where to go. I knew how to work the subway. It just all takes time, but, you know, you got to fall in love with that process to really understand how to be comfortable in it. And that applied to everything else that I needed to get through, whether it was a new job, a hard class, you know, it all falls.
Oh, you kind of froze up a little bit. Oh, there you go. You're back.
Yeah, we cut out a little bit. There we go.
Well, Kennedy, how has your role changed? You're a senior now. You were a freshman when you first arrived on the team. You're a starter now. You have been for the last 2 years. How has your role changed from your freshman year to today?
Well, we're kind of locked up here. I'm not sure what's happened. Kennedy, can you hear us? Well, I'm not sure what's happened there, but it jumped off. Well, again, we were visiting with Kennedy DeRuy from Hunter College in Manhattan, New York, and we'll see if they can't get reconnected here. And but interesting, very personable on the screen, very well spoken, and of course with the background that she has, and you know she was mentioning the alumni, Harry Connick Jr. and Bobby Darin, both went to Hunter College. That was something I was not aware of. But she's back now, and we'll go.
Sorry, guys. Being halfway across the country definitely has some cons to it with live streaming, but we're back.
No worries. You were talking about alumni there, and I was telling Kent there, and we just continued to roll here. But Harry Connick Jr. and Bobby Darin both went to Hunter College there. But you're talking about you know, your freshman year to now as a senior. If you could go back in a time machine and go back to that Kennedy DeRuy, who was an 8th grader at McAuley Catholic, based on what you know right now, being a senior in college, what advice would you give her?
I would get more in the weight room, and I definitely would have picked up AAU a lot sooner than I did. I started when I was a sophomore. And my parents, like, they just didn't want me to get burned out, and I understand that. But I think there's levels to this game, and I wanted to see that kind of early on. And so I wish I would have started, like, traveling more and getting more into the game probably around 8th grade. I think that would have really helped my game. And, yeah, definitely work out, get in the weight room because, you're going to get tossed around and you're not going to like it. So, but yeah, those two things for sure.
And being from Missouri, and I've seen this with relatives of mine that, well, my wife went to Wellesley College in Boston, and one thing that's some of the stories she's told me was having to explain Missouri in the Midwest to her classmates who had never been, West is to them is Philadelphia. That I may be exaggerating. That's an old joke. But have there been situations where you found yourself having to explain what the Midwest is and who we are?
Oh, every day. If I say something crazy, they're like, "Oh, you're from Missouri, that's why." And I'm like, "No, guys, like that's not why." But I guess it is. I don't know. Yes, I repeatedly always have to say Missouri. Like, where's that at? And I'm like, middle of America. Like, put your finger right in the middle of the map. That's where we are. They're like, "What is it like?" And I'm like, "Whatever you see in the movies, that's exactly what it's like. A lot of cornfields, tractors days at schools, that kind of thing." But also, I'm from Joplin, and so the EF5, the big tornado, happened in 2011, and Netflix made a whole documentary about that this past year. So a lot of people started asking me more about that and how my experience was through that, and so I definitely get to explain my hometown. But a lot of them say, I don't see you in a small town, and I think I always say, my values, my morals, they all come from being from a small town. I think that family aspect and family is important, and that really does translate to the big city, and you got to take those values and those morals with you, and stay fast in where you've come from. But yeah, I always find myself being like middle of America, Missouri. But it's a funny conversation. It's a funny conversation sometimes. So.
And tell us about your involvement, your major's media studies, and you've on your resume you've already built an impressive resume. One place that catches the eye is Madison Square Garden. Walk us through that and what you're doing with them.
Yeah, of course. So I kind of started this media career, honestly, in high school for Jet HG TV. It was this broadcasting channel through Joplin High School. So it was kind of like an elective. You went there at the end of the day and you get to work with broadcast cameras. I got to go out and shoot my own stories. And I kind of was like the sports reporter at my high school. So every Friday we would have a weekly news segment. And so I was able to go out and shoot my own stories. And that's kind of where I fell in love with video production and interviewing like yourself. So that kind of all unfolded. I knew that going into the city, I was going to have a big pool of opportunities. And I just started applying to everything. Kind of my sophomore year is when it really took off. I got like a podcast production internship. So I was editing podcasts like these and going out and interviewing people for a specific topic. It was more like pop culture, but you have to take what you can get. So that was fun. And then, last year I started with Madison Square Garden at MSG Networks, and that was part of their student associate program. It was an internship, and I was making the schedules for MSG Networks when the Knicks were playing, Rangers, the New Jersey Devils, all that kind of stuff. And I was just helping whatever the network needed with scheduling. And then I was able to go to some Knicks games and help with the broadcasting, be in the truck, all that kind of stuff. And this year I started in October. So it's about an 8-month tenure of the internship. So this is my second one with Madison Square Garden. And it's with MSG Sports, and it's specifically for the New York Rangers video production. So I get to go to all the Rangers home games. I get to film them, make edits for social media, for YouTube, a lot of different things, just putting out content about the New York Rangers. And it's been an awesome experience. I really didn't know too much about hockey before then. So just being at my first Rangers game rinkside, I got a little bit spoiled, and now I don't ever want to go back up to the seats. So it's really, really fun. I've been able to learn a lot, and just to be a part of Madison Square Garden in that venue, in that arena, it's dreams come true. This is exactly what I wanted to do, and I'm lucky enough to say I'm doing it.
Well, living there in Manhattan now for 4 years, what is your favorite part of living in the city?
My favorite part. I think I love finding new restaurants and places and things to do, and you can never run out of that. I don't, if you went to a new restaurant every single day for the rest of your life, you still want to catch up to how many there are. So I like exploring new opportunities. I never take that for granted, because, from my small town, I'm there for a week and I've done everything I really could do. So it's fun to, explore different things and try new foods and try new things. That's what I love most about it.
Well, and there's always the not as good that goes with the good. What bothers you about being in a large city?
I don't think it's specifically the city's fault, but just being away from home and my family. Like I'm a homebody, and I wish they had an apartment here. I wish I wasn't so far away. I could just take a train. Like a bunch of my teammates, they just take the train up to Queens and they're home. So that is sometimes really difficult. But every time I get to go home, I cherish that time with them. But I think that is the most difficult part about being in the city. Other than that, I love it. I've always wanted to be here. I've always wanted to take the subway every day. Like everyone thinks it's so scary, but I promise you it's not. But yeah, I really do enjoy it.
And switching back to basketball, your next game, who is it, when, where? Tell us about what's coming up.
Tomorrow, so the rest of the month is conference games. Like the November and December is when we have tournaments. We'll play out of conference games. We actually played Wesleyan, not this year, but last year we played Wesleyan. So we usually, like this past month, we went to kind of outside of Boston. And then we also went to, where else did we go? We had 2 out-of-state tournaments, which was fun. So we got to play different schools, and but this month is conference games. So tomorrow we play York at home, and next week is probably one of our biggest games of the year. We play Brooklyn at home next Wednesday. Brooklyn is our rival. It's my College Heights, my TJ. We were in the CUNY ACT championship last year with them when we lost by 5. They've won the championship, the conference championship, the last 4 years, I believe. I think even longer than that. So that is the team to beat. That's all the practices and all the early mornings. That is what we're working for towards that victory, that goal to obviously win the championship. And it most likely will be us, hopefully, but we got to take it one game at a time and see where that leads us.
Well, you have a lot of basketball to go. I'm not trying to push you out that door, but when you look back on your Hunter career, when it's time for that, how do you hope people will remember you?
I think coming and playing in college is definitely a transition from high school, especially small town to a big city. And like I've said before, like we're all college basketball players. Everyone's good. And so not specifically just the sports aspect of it, but also the personality aspect of it. I hope people remember me as someone that can easily talk to, a leader, a good friend, and someone that's always going to push you and get on you when your potential isn't what you're showing. I know a lot of my teammates, they're so good, and I want to get that from them every single day, every single practice. So I hope they remember, as a leader, and as someone they can go to whenever they need. Basketball wise, I've came a long way from freshman year to my senior year. I'm now a starter, and so that has definitely been its ups and downs, but I've loved every second of it because I prayed for this. I prayed to play college basketball. I prayed to be in the city. So any complaints that I have, they're good complaints, they're good problems, and I just got to keep reminding myself that. So.
Well, Guy, we've interviewed a lot of people and just terrific people, but I think Kennedy is a great example of Missouri talent, and I don't mean just basketball talent, but Missouri talent going on and doing very well.
Thank you so much, Ken. Appreciate that.
Kennedy, we greatly appreciate your time. I know it's we have a little hit glitch right there in the middle, but we'll roll with it. It's all right. We're a long way away. And of course, it's raining here. We haven't had rain in months, it seems like, but that may have something to do with on my end. But it's been an honor and a pleasure to get to visit with you. And as you move forward here, best of luck at your college career. And what are you doing? What are your goals after your playing days are over?
I'm going to move into the city around August. So I'm going to go back home for the summer. And then I'm going to move in the city in August, and whatever opportunity comes my way within media, sports media, I'm all about it. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, keep us in mind.
I will.
Kennedy, hey, congratulations. And congratulations on being part of the Missouri Milestones. There's no membership dues. There's no secret handshakes.
All right.
You have already accomplished it by virtue of what you did at the high school level. Thanks so much for your time. God bless. Have a great day.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you, Jody.
You're watching Missouri Milestones, a podcast here at the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol remind us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow.
Any given Saturday. And a little work. And a little play.
Hey, little help?
And a truck that says no to nothing.
Hi, Dad. Can I get them a ride?
Yeah.
The Silverado Trail Boss and Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Leaders know there's no guide to greatness. When everyone else says something can't be done, they know it only hasn't been done yet. True leaders weather the fiercest storms and look deep within themselves to rise above and help others find their way forward. At Great Southern Bank, we're proud to partner with visionaries that help raise the tide for all of us. And when you're ready to bring your vision to life, we'll be right behind you with award-winning support.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.